Back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
Here we go, black 20.
Right here. Hey, alert three.
Black,
they'll run on first down. Connor, and they will only muster a yard here to the 38.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
Rush in. Check.
On second down, it's Connor. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here, and they'll be facing a 3rd and 12.
black 30.
54 Mike. Let's put him on the buses. Let's put that good. He's checking.
Jump out. Black is good.
Out of the gun, it's Roethlisberger. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Shaquille Barrett put that sack by his name in the stat sheet.
Well, we knew this guy wasn't especially fleet of foot, but he tried to conjure up some escapability, but there was no way he was getting away on that one.
Oh, a big decision here early. Look at this. They're going to go for it on their own side of the field.
50.
Here we go on 4th down with Roethlisberger. Buying time to his left. He's going to launch it for... And this is what here? Incomplete, they say. It looked like it was intercepted, but he apparently did not get the 2 feet down in bounds.
Ready. Black, what you got?
Mike. Danny. Kill. Hey, turn it
Easy.
On first down, Jones. And the running lane's non-existent in this first half as they'll stop him behind the line. That'll set him back with a loss of 3 on the play. And that'll make this a 2nd and 13.
Mike 55.
Now Winston. Incomplete. The turnover put him in great field position. They don't want to squander it with 3rd down coming up.
No, not at all. And you know what else you do? You make your defense mad.
Yeah.
They got you the football, gave you a great opportunity. You got to cash in and get some points.
Ready.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down.
Follow.
Shoot. Watch the shoot.
Here we go, even.
From the gun, Winston. He's going to fire one deep, middle of the field. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete. 1:57 to go in this first half on EA Sports. We remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll take you to Orlando and Jonathan Coachman. Coach will have highlights and analysis of this first half, one that's featured no touchdowns as of yet on either side.
So his job's a little bit easier for this halftime report.
Need to give the coach some highlights here.
Yes, we do.
Here we go.
Green, triple team. Let's go.
Now Winston on 4th down. The 20. That is caught. It's Perriman. And he'll be brought down with the first down and a late flag here, too. And he may get a few more tacked on for good measure. So now then the penalty's got him set up with a 1st and goal.
Whip. Watch the whip. Kill.
Hey, let's get it for Burger.
After the penalty, it's Jones. And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Buccaneers. An 8-yard touchdown run as his guys are first onto the scoreboard here this afternoon. Extra point hugged the upright a bit, but he gets it to go. And that makes the score 7-0. Following the touchdown, here's Gay to kick it away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And last time this unit was out here, costly turnover, and then that turned into 6 points. They've got to make amends.
And how many times have we sat in meetings with coaches and they use the term complementary football? Offense take care of the defense, defense take care of the offense. That didn't happen on the last possession. This is a chance for them to pick themselves back up and help their team.
Yeah, we'll see if they can recoup and recover. The Steelers able to pick up 18 yards there. One play has them up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10.
44. Hey, high 7.
From the shotgun, it's Roethlisberger. Forced out to his left. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off right around the 43.
Brandon, this is a veteran quarterback back there. He should know better than to make a throw like this. This is definitely not his best ball, and I think he knew this was trouble the second it was leaving his hand.
The Buccaneers in good field position here to start out 1st and 10 at their own 42. Jameis to throw it. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down.
It's a lot of contact going on there, and in the end, unable to keep 2 hands on the football and bring it into his body.
Everything looked pretty good until the finish.
Mike, 55. Check, 55.
Let's go, let's convert. Sponge, let's go.
The 2nd down throw for Winston. And the pressure gets there, and Winston goes down. Cam Hayward, always a force, got back there for the sack.
Brings up 3rd down. 55, Mike, 55. Hey, eat. Pick me up. Here we go.
Easy.
55. Hey, tight.
Sonic.
There you go. Check your hot read.
3rd and long for Winston. He's going to fire one deep. Oh, wide open. Complete. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. O.J. Howard in the final seconds of the first half as the Buccaneers tack on to their lead.
And that's a lead that excites a team as they head into the half. Good way to finish things off.
Yeah, able to extend that lead, and you always say it, that can totally change the complexion of half number 2.
Yeah, it changes your morale, changes your outlook. But even before that, let's see if they decide to kind of squib kick or what they're going to do on the kickoff, because you don't want to give up a big play right before the half ends.
Good point. This will be taken about the 12. And he's all the way up across the 40 and down at the 42-yard line. Great return. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. Time remaining for likely one final play. You're on your side of the field, but, heck, maybe you throw one up 50-plus yards, see what happens.
Don't forget that taking the knee is the right play to make, because you just get out of there, you regroup, you start over. But if you're going to take the shot, you do have a chance of either making the play happen or picking up a deep pass interference call. And remember, it's the NFL. You get yardage. It's not just a 15-yard play. You could have something big here. Let's see if they take the shot.
He's going to launch this thing way downfield. The ball popped in the air and intercepted. Picked off by the safety, Darian Stewart. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. So we've reached the intermission in what right now is a 13-point game. As we send you to our EA studios in Orlando, here's Jonathan Coachman with our EA Sports Halftime Report. The Bucs with the lead, and they'll get the football first as the second half is underway. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line.
Come on now, let's go.
At their own 22-yard line.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, you had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. And he'll get this up to about the 40. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. On second down now. It's Connor, and he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. 4 yards the pickup, first down.
230. Take both of them.
First down.
49. Check 49. Check 49. Jack 16. Black is on.
Now Roethlisberger on first down. Steps away to his left. And Big Ben intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off around the 41. First possession of the 3rd quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
Airing this one out for Evans. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Joe Hayden, the veteran, with a pick. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Well, that's a drive killer right there. Not a really confident throw either. This one was kind of up for grabs, and it's going to come down the hands of the wrong team.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. They're sort of seeing themselves spiral out of control. Let's see if they can get things back on track.
And this is where the coach is walking that line of being calm and really being firm with his team. I had one tell me once, when we were having a tough patch, this too shall pass, this too shall pass, and in fact we kept having a rough patch. He said, but you got to do something to make it pass, and that's what they have to do. They've got to get some control back, get themselves reasserted, and calm things down.
See if they can get calm and reassert themselves here.
Well, we saw them there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down.
But if these guys are going to chop into that deficit, they got to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down.
Hey, alert, 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 alert. Hey, wahoo.
Roethlisberger. And that is incomplete.
The frustration is definitely setting in because they've thrown it to him over and over, unable to come up with a catch thus far.
I think he knew he would have his challenges against the secondary. I don't think he saw a goose egg at this point in the game. And no move to get the offense off the field. Despite failing once, they're going to go again here on 4th down.
Alert, alert. Hey, zoom.
They'll indeed go for it with Roethlisberger. And it's complete. He gets this one to Washington. And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. Pittsburgh getting 16 yards there and also a 1st down. Nothing in that first half, nothing on the last drive, but they're moving now with a 1st and 10. Now Ben going to give this one to Connor. And they're well past midfield, just a yard or two shy of the 40. The Steeler 1st down on the pickup of 11 yards. Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10.
Hey, Foxtrot, Foxtrot.
Here's Roethlisberger to throw. Being chased out left. Open man completes it to Smith-Schuster. And he's going to get this inside the 30. That one good for 14 yards and a Steeler first. Under a minute to go in this third quarter as they come up 1st and 10.
24. Go.
Here's Roethlisberger. He'll find Smith-Schuster. That's complete. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. It'll be a gain of 17 and a Pittsburgh first. Took till the second half, but finally a red zone opportunity here. They've got a 1st and 10 at the 11. And he's going to take it in for a Steeler touchdown. Taking it in from 11 yards out as his guys are back within a single score. That's a score you felt they had to have here in the third quarter to get back in this game.
And you know that there was an emphasis on their side. Hey, we know this. We know where we are. But sometimes that binds you up so much that you try too hard, you don't get the score. A perfect combination of urgency, yet relaxed enough to get it done.
And that'll be accepted, of course, and that moves him back 5. And that'll set him back 5. Chris Boswell now for the extra point. And that'll make it 13-7.
Makes the score Buccaneers 13, Steelers 7. Chris Boswell set to kick.
Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown.
Bearcats made it to 25-yard line. The Bucs take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The Tampa offense ready to get their drive started. And last time wasn't pretty. One play and an interception. We'll see if they can do better.
I want to see if they want to go ahead and throw the ball again now on this drive after what happened on the last one. Throw it on the first play. Give the quarterback some confidence.
See what happens. And now the drive starts with a completion out to the right. And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27. So they'll take the yardage and tack on 15 more for the face mask.
Talk about a play that absolutely costs you in the end. Just trying to do your job, right? Trying to get him on the ground. Next thing you know, they'll march off another 15 against your squad.
And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the third quarter has come to a close. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. They've been asleep for a little while on this side of the football, Charles, and the score is just a one-score game now. Haven't had any points this half. What gives?
Let's go old school here. All right, let's get back to the basics. Get back to running the football, high percentage throws. Find the guys that eat pressure and make plays for you and make sure they touch it.
A good pickup there, 26 yards.
That's good for a Buccaneers first down. 1st and 10 at the 31-yard line.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10.
All day. All day.
Green, triple T.
Any day. Check the backer. Check the backer. Check nickel, nickel, nickel.
Out of the pistol, the give to Jones. And I think this defense knew what was coming as he is smothered behind the line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
Brings up second and 11 at the 33-yard line.
Mike 55. Hey, eat. Here we go. You go tight. You echo. You go tight right there.
Easy. Let him go.
On second and 11 now. Winston looking downfield. Now look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Picked up by Steven Nelson. A critical error there in a tight game of the fourth.
All you talk about is taking care of the football, and especially with a lead here in the fourth quarter, turning it over, now the door is open for the opposition.
Just in general, when you're passing in the fourth quarter with a lead, no matter at what point, you got to be super careful.
Got to be careful, and sometimes you can be so careful that you end up running yourself into an error.
And Ndamukong Suh makes the tackle. They'll stay on the ground with Connor again. And he's going to be taken down shy of the 5-yard line. They follow up the gain of 2 with a gain of 1 that time.
Back-to-back runs, I'd say that encompassed maximum effort for minimal gain.
Minimal yardage, and now they're going to need something more than minimal on this play coming up.
77.
From the gun on third down, it's Roethlisberger. And that one drops incomplete as he got popped as he was throwing it.
They went with the dime look that time on defense, just flooded the field with defensive backs, blanketed everyone, took away all the passing angles, thus the incompletion.
Here's Jordan Berry now. And no room for error here as his first punt comes from deep in his own end zone. So a short drop, but he's able to get it out, and this is a good kick. And a fair catch called for and made just inside the 35-yard line. We'll call that a punt of 54 yards. Well struck. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. The Tampa offense ready to get their drive started. Right now clinging to a 1-score lead, Charles, and I think operating within that 4-minute offense with a little less than 4 minutes to go applies here, right?
It certainly does, and that means the playbook is still wide open. But you are a little bit more careful about what you're calling. You want plays that are going to gain yardage, how would you say it, consistently, right? You don't need...
Mike Evans, he's going to go. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Mike Evans, 66 yards as the Buccaneers tack on to their lead. So now a 2-point conversion attempt coming for Winston and the Bucs.
Let's get off the field, D.
Winston. And that's going to be knocked away in the end zone. It's incomplete. Protection was great. He had time to set up a campsite. But in the secondary, though, they were ready.
And I think that in most places on the field, if you have that much time to throw the ball, someone's going to shake free and you'll find an open receiver. But condensed near the goal line on a 2-point conversion, all that extra, there's not any extra field. So it kind of closes in on them, and that allows you to cover a little bit better.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means they're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. The Steelers able to pick up 18 yards there. Roethlisberger now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10.
22, 44. Hey, echo.
54 is Mike.
Here's Roethlisberger, escaping the pressure right. Toward the right sideline, but it's incomplete. James Washington was the intended target, and that'll bring up second down. Ball on the 42 as they come up 2nd and 10.
Watch out.
Alert. Hey, Charlie. Black, what's that?
Now Roethlisberger. And that one got tipped, kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd.
Well, we're not playing 3 yards in a cloud of dust football anymore. I kind of get why those old school coaches sometimes didn't want to throw the football. Because if it's popped up in the air, it almost turns into slow motion, and both sides trying to get to the football, and you're holding your breath wondering whether it's going to go good or bad for your team.
Roethlisberger will throw. He's got the first down here inside the 30. Pittsburgh getting 16 yards there and also a first down. Clock management definitely critical here if they want to get back in this game.
Absolutely agreed. They have to up the tempo in this case, down a couple of scores. Want to make sure they have a chance to win this ball game.
Roethlisberger now 8 of 17 so far, under 50%.
Check 26. Hey, watch it. Slam. 50. Mike 5-4.
Five.
Coming to you. Right there, 54.
Again, it's Roethlisberger, eluding the pressure right. This will be caught inside the 10. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. Another strong gain on the last 2 plays. They've moved it a combined 33 yards. Defensively here, you've got the cushion, but back-to-back pretty big pass plays there. Bend but don't break, but are they bending too much?
I think that they are. To me, it'd be like playing basketball, and you put up a token press. Make sure you get up there and make them eat up some time. Make it a little bit of resistance so they can't just run it right down your throat.
Let's go.
So the Steelers with the football as we get you reset. They've got it first and goal as they look to punch in a late score.
50.
Ben to throw again. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
Well, he'd been targeted quite a bit on this drive, and finally I think the guys on the defensive side, they said no more. They slapped the double coverage on him, made it very tough for him to get the ball.
Corner. Hey, Alpha.
Check. Watch 54. Gotta do better.
No spacing.
Second down and goal. Roethlisberger. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Vernon Hargreaves with a pick. Weaving through traffic, and now he's free. 30. Past the 20. And it's a pick 6. He brings it back to the house for a bucket.